Good morning, Tottenham fans. Tottenham played Reading today and beat them 2-0. Yes, it's only a friendly, and yes, it doesn't really mean anything, but there were quite a few takeaways. There were a few players from each half that I thought need to be mentioned in this video. So today I'm going to talk about 5 players from the first half and 5 players from the second half. And the reason why I'm doing that is because both halves had different teams. So one half you had one team, second half you had a different team. So I'm going to pick 5 from each half and explain why they stood out to me. Also going to talk about the tactics that Frank and the coaching staff were using, and I'll also talk about how Frank's coaching staff changed things up and what's different from this season to last season. So if you're new here, please smash that subscribe button, hit that like button. It really gets this channel seen a lot more. I am over 2,000 subscribers now. It's not a lot to some people, but it means everything to me. And I'm on that road to 3,000 now, and that's thanks to you guys. Now, in the first half, I've heard a lot of people saying it was boring, there wasn't much going on, but when I was watching it, as I do a lot of YouTube channels, I was analysing it a lot. So I didn't really notice that it was boring because I was trying to figure out what was going on, what was changed, how players are playing. So the 5 players that stood out for me in the first half first one was Udogie. He looked like one of the sharpest players in the first half. I noticed as well that Frank's tactics means he doesn't have to invert, he doesn't have to run forward playing the number 10 role and have to keep sprinting back and leaving big holes at the back. He looks so much more comfortable playing just as a left back, marauding up the wing, playing 1-2s with the number 10 and Solanke, really linking up really well with them two, getting to the byline, putting crosses in, winning the ball back. I just think Udogie looked like a lot better player in that kind of position. There was never any gaping holes in behind him, and he was a threat going forward. So Udogie for me was pretty decent today. Yes, and everyone's going to keep saying it was Reading. I'm not disrespecting Reading. It's just a friendly. Everybody knows that, but you can only analyse what you've seen. So the next player I'm going to point out in the first half was Dominic Solanke. And the reason why I'm pointing him out was, especially the first 20 minutes, he was a lot more impactful. He had a lot more of the ball than I've seen him for the last year or so. Everything was going through him. The crosses were going to him, balls were going to feet. He was linking up more play, so he was seeing a lot more of the ball. He was even running in behind as well and getting passes fed through to him. So that was good. That was good to see that Solanke was more involved in the game, and almost scored as well from that ball from Devine. And he flicked it. Should have got better contact with it, to be honest, and flicked it over, but. Not many chances in the first half, to be honest, but yeah, Solanke was involved a lot in the first half, which was good. Next player I want to mention is Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore started off pretty slowly. At first I thought, he looks a bit rusty because, he hasn't had a lot of game time, but he grew into it massively. I think remember last season against Alkmaar when he had a pretty quiet first half and then second half he exploded into life. It was like that in this half. Where the first half he was quite quiet, and in the second half he started taking players on, started threading balls through. He took on 2 players at once, went through and almost set up a goal. So he was growing into the game and he was doing okay, to be honest. Another player I want to mention is Kinksky, because Kinksky is just phenomenal on the ball. He really is, and the way he distributes that ball is part of Frank's plan as well, to attack fast. And sometimes he'll get the ball, play it short, but then sometimes he'll get it and ping it 40, 50 yards to one of our wingers or wing backs. And we're on the attack. And he does it so fast and pinpoint passing as well. He's so comfortable on the ball. Like in the first half when we were playing it around the back, I felt so much more comfortable with him in the goal than I did with Vicario in the second half. He's so good at that, but he's got to work on other aspects if he wants to become number 1. But I can honestly see him becoming number 1 either this season or next season, just by the way he plays. He's just so good on the ball and so good at starting attacks from the back, which is really important in the Frank system. So he could break his way into the first team, to be honest. I know it's one game. I know it's a friendly. I'm going to keep repeating that. I know that. But we've seen it before. We did it against Liverpool, if you remember. Another player I want to mention is Porro. Porro, again, does what Porro does. He didn't have to invert either, so he was just playing as a right back, and he wasn't marauding forward as much as your doggy, but he was sitting back and playing crossfield passes, 40-yard passes, putting crosses in. His crossing weren't the best today, but he was putting some good crosses in. He was good defensively. He wasn't open either. He wasn't leaving gaping holes at the back. So yeah, it was a solid performance from Porro, and I think he's going to be a key in our attacking on the right hand side, as his distribution is going to be massive. Because what we're doing is, and I'll talk about the tactics later on in the video, but the tactics are changing. It's not just one way. It's like he'll play it short 1 minute and then 40 yards the next minute to keep the opposition guessing. So getting into the second half, to be fair, I know a lot of people said the first half was boring. I don't think it was that boring, but the second half came to life, and one of the players I want to start mentioning was debutant Kudus. Kudus was, I think he created 3 chances in the second half to score, which was higher than anybody in the whole match. So that's good. He got an assist for the Vuskovic goal, and yeah, he was causing problems every time he got the ball. He got a pre-assist for the first goal as well, so that's good. So yeah, he was just, when he got the ball, he'd turn and he'll run, and the way he brings the ball down so fast, like when he brings the ball down and the player tries to tackle him, he's already brought the ball down and knocked it past you before you've even had a chance. He makes you think you can nip in and get the ball, and then he's gone. You know, I think he turned 2 players at once, and they had to drag him back because he was going to be gone. It was a bit of skill, I think, around the 60th minute, where him and Jed Spence linked up, and they just went through about 3 or 4 players, and then he ended up running down the wing and setting up, I think, Donnelly, and Donnelly almost scored. So it was quite a good debut from Kudus. Not like scintillated, not like world class or anything like that, but it was a very good debut, and there's a lot more to come from him, I can see. But he was getting involved heavily. Now, next person I want to mention is Will Lancashire, and Kudus crossed it, Vuskovic flicked it on, and Lancashire scored with a header, and it was a brave header as well. And it seems to me like he's got a very good instinct to score goals. Like, do you remember that goal against Galatasaray as well? Right place at the right time. He seems to have a knack at that. He seems to be like a fox in the box. He's physically big as well. He's a big boy. He's only about 18 or 19 years old. We need to see more of him to think, are we going to keep him or we're going to sign another striker? But if we did release Richarlison, Lancashire, is he good enough to be a backup? Not at the moment. I don't think so at the moment. But he's looking okay. He hasn't done himself any harm anyway. That's what I have to say about that. Next person I want to talk about is Jamie Donnelly. In and out of the game in the second half. But he done some good passing, good spraying the ball from left to right, getting on the ball. He seems more of an all-rounder player than, like, we had Alfie Devine in the 10 in the first half. Donnelly made more of an impact in the second half than he did, maybe because the Reading players were tiring, I don't know, but Donnelly looked a lot more assured on the ball. I think if he carries on playing like this, he will stay around the squad, and I don't think he'll be loaned out. Next player I want to mention is Van de Ven. Van de Ven, it was so nice to see that he didn't have to sprint back every 5 minutes. And it was different. This is the right reason why I mentioned Van de Ven today. It was different because he was, you know, he'll get on the ball and he'll spray it across and win headers and bring the ball down, playing it out. There was no gaps in behind him, so there wasn't much sprinting to do. And maybe this way of playing, he'll end up with less injuries. Maybe he's known for a hamstring injury, but even in this system as well, he could probably play left back, which would be decent as well. So you could have, like, because Danso played pretty well at left centre back as well, or Vuskovic or Kota Takai, who wasn't there today, and put Van de Ven as left back, cover for Udogie, which would be awesome. Then we wouldn't need to sign anybody like that, because we've got a hell of a lot of centre-backs anyway, so it might be a thing. But yeah, Van der Ven looked very, very comfortable at the back today. Last but not least, Vuskovic. Now, what a debut this was. Outstanding debut, especially the first 10 minutes. He managed to get on the end of a cross. Kudus crossed it. He won the header powerfully and set up Lancashire to header it home. And then a couple of minutes later, Kudus sets him up and he bangs it bottom corner just outside the box with his left foot, and he's supposed to be right-footed. A brilliant finish into the bottom corner. And then a couple of minutes after that, Reading had a chance and Vuskovic cleared it off the line with getting his body in the way. So a brilliant first. I don't think I've seen many debuts with the first 10 minutes like that. It was insane. And he's a defender. He got assist and a goal, and he's a defender. He's 6'4". He looks massive. Like when people were coming to congratulate him for the goal, he's bigger than all of them. So he doesn't look 18. He looks about a 23-year-old already. He looks big. He's a big old boy. He was so assured on the ball. He was playing right centre-back. He was using his left foot a hell of a lot. So it tells me he's very comfortable with both feet. He scored with his left foot, obviously, as well, like I said. And he was just so comfortable. Like, in defence, he was great. He was on the ball. He was just passing it around, not looking nervous at all. Going forward, every time we got a corner, I just thought we're going to score with this guy here. He's just so dangerous in the box. He really is. He's going to be a massive asset for us, I'm telling you. Brilliant debut from that young lad. Now, let me talk a little bit about the tactics that Frank and the coaching staff were using. Now, the pressing was more organised. It wasn't gun-ho pressing like Solanke only pressed at certain points. There was like trigger points where people were pressing. They pressed together. They pressed as a unit. The pressing will improve, I reckon, and it'll get more intense as games go on. And as we start playing bigger sides like Arsenal and Bayern Munich, and Newcastle will be pressing a lot harder, I'm assuming, but the pressing was good. There was no space in behind our defence. It was pretty solid. We had two midfielders sitting in the first half, and it was just the fact that we didn't have no space in behind was really good to see. We're constantly switching play, so we'd do a couple of 1-2s in and out around our own area, and then bang, would switch it to the other wing, and then bang, would switch it to the other wing. And we were a lot more direct with the ball as well, so we'd get it, like before last season, we'd get the ball and we'd play it out the wing, we'd run down the byline and we'd cross it in and we'd try and get a tap in, and we was doing that constantly. This was a lot more flexible. It was 1-2s here and there, then it was a through ball, then it was 1-2 here and there, then it was a cross, then it was 1-2 here and there, then it was a pass inside, pass out wide, then a cross. Then so it was changing constantly, and players were very variant on their positions. They were changing positions and kept Reading guessing all the time. It was really good to see. And the strikers were seeing more of the ball, like I mentioned earlier with Solanke. The strikers see a lot more of the ball as well. So the play when going forward is based around the striker, and that suits Solanke perfectly because he loves linking up with players. He loves flicking the ball on. He loves using his strength, and he loves getting in the box for crosses. And that's what was happening. It was really good to see. Set pieces were massively dangerous as well, which was really good, especially with Vuskovic on the pitch. When he was on the pitch, like it just felt like he was going to win every single time, win the header every time. It was really good to see. All the way through the game, Frank and the coaches were analysing everything using their laptops, constantly talking about the game and how they could switch things up. Frank was constantly talking to the players, making sure that they knew what the tactics were, or if he was giving instructions for new tactics. He was constantly talking to his coaching staff to figure out how to open up Reading. But like I said, this is a friendly, and you can't analyse like how Tottenham season's going to go on just a game away to Reading in a friendly, but there was lots of positive to check from this. Obviously, there was a few negatives. I don't want to get into that today in just one game. There's a lot of players that were rusty, a lot of players coming back from international football. I'm not going to judge them at all on anything I've seen today. I was just trying to point out the positives I've seen and the excitement of actually watching football again, to be honest. Let me know if you've watched the game and what you thought of the game. who was your man of the match. Thank you for watching, and come on you Spurs.